So why is it helpful to lunge them rather than just ride them all the time?
In setting him up for lunging, I twist the reins around each other so they're snug around his neck, and then I feed the throat latch through the gap in the rein, and then we'll buckle it back up to the throat latch. This way the reins stay out of the, we'll set up the lunge line. This horse has lunged pretty quietly. So for him, we're going through the bit and around the nose band. And then we're gonna clip this back to itself. So this is a pretty mild way to attach a lunge line. If he were a puller or difficult to control on the line, we might go through the bit, over his pole, and to the opposite bit ring. But because he's been pretty good on the lunge, we're gonna do it this way. Hook up our off side rein first, and because we were just recently introducing him to the side reins, we're keeping these fairly long. So the idea is that they are taut enough that they're safe, they're not dangling, but they also have enough slack that he can turn his head left and right and can hold his head in a fairly neutral position. So this side rein would only add a little bit of pressure if he brings his head considerably above the vertical. And then once his off side rein is done, we'll hook up the near side. And make sure they're both in the same holes.
So why is it helpful to lunge them rather than just ride them all the time?